Welcome to I Drink Your Podcast.
Oh gosh, it's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You leave me no choice. Here comes the smolder.
Wait, you like that?
No.
You don't like that?
No, I don't like that.
No, how about that? You like that?
A little better.
Bread makes you fat?
Does this count as annoying?
Just tell me what you want me to fuck!
Not you, and not you.
Okay, I think it's time to take off your clothes and jump me.
$1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool?
I drink your podcast! I drink it up!
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of I Drink Your Podcast. This is Emily, and we are in the middle of our 2010 season of movies that are good? Question mark?
Some of them.
You just heard Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hi, everybody.
And we also have Brandon back with us.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
We're super excited to have our trio here to talk this movie. And before we get too far, why don't you all just, like our show and rate our show and email us and say hi to us. That'd be cool. I should get on Instagram again. I'm not doing much on there for like 6 months. Everyone, tell me what's in your glass for this movie. Ben.
Come in a hot tub. That's what's in my glass. Come in a hot tub is 2 parts vodka, 1 part white rum, and a couple drops of Baileys. And it looks like cum floating in hot tub water.
Because you have experience with that.
Oh my goodness.
I mean...
Never mind. I wish you all could see my face. I just don't know how to look more disgusted than I am.
Because you don't think that the drink will taste good?
Just the name. Just the name. Brandon, what about you?
I just have sweet tea. I'm very basic today.
Sweet, like 9-year-old, what's her name?
Oh,
the wife?
The wife.
It's the worst.
I can't remember her name, but it starts with like a C or something.
Was it Clara? I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember. Courtney. I think it was Courtney.
I kind of wish Brandon had one-up me and been like, diarrhea in a hot tub.
No, I don't do hot tubs. I really don't. It feels like I'm just in the bath with everybody.
Me too. I've never been into hot tubs. I mean, I used to for the social aspect when I was swimming in high school, and we would just hang out the Y afterward and hang out in the hot tub, just, flirting and shit. But now, gross.
Yeah. People stew. No, thank you.
Speaking of which, that is what I'm drinking tonight. Drinking
stew?
Some hot water. Hot tub water.
Hot tub water. I wouldn't
either, but it's better than my initial plan, which was going to be poison for myself. I was going to drink something blueberry since I'm allergic and would have to leave. But I decided, let's not do that.
How would that have tied in?
Poison, the band.
Because the band's totally
poison.
That's the whole fucking point, that they're all at the winter thing. Because Poison's playing. I know, it's such a stupid detail that
such
no one
a plot-heavy
cares.
movie. I missed that.
Speaking of plot-heavy movies, I'm just kidding. We watched Hot Tub Time Machine, and it's available on HBO Max.
Yeah, and Hot Tub Time Machine is currently at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Shut the fuck up.
Was nominated for 11 Oscars, winning 13. One more than it was nominated for because of a write-in campaign for Best Dick Joke.
You mean 2 more?
Best Dick Joke was one of them that was written in for it. It just barely beat the King's Speech. No, Hot Tub Time Machine's at 64% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is considered one of the better comedies of 2010, though, so we figured we'd cover it. Directed by Steve Pink, who also directed 2006's Accepted.
I weirdly like that movie.
I think that movie and this movie have a lot in common in terms of the humor.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, he co-wrote 2 John Cusack movies with John Cusack. Those would be Grosse Pointe Blank and High Fidelity.
What the hell happened last night? Is there some kind of retro thing going on this weekend?
There's something going on in here. Dude is rocking a cassette player. Leg warmers. I'm sure there's a good explanation for all this. Jerry girl! Excuse me, miss. What color is Michael Jackson?
Black?
Starring in this movie is John Cusack. He was a teen star in the 80s in movies like Better Off Dead, One Crazy Summer, and Say Anything. He made some solid movies in the 90s with Con Air, Anastasia, and Being John Malkovich. before becoming a romantic comedy star in the 2000s with America's Sweethearts, Serendipity, and 2012.
He hasn't really done a whole lot of stuff afterwards, it doesn't feel like.
No, he actually became a direct-to-DVD guy. Like, I don't know if he just didn't have any money left, but he started just making whatever movie that they would cast him in. Which is kind of sad, because I really like John Cusack.
Yeah, I'm a 80s kid, and it's seeing Cusack and see that whole Rat Pack. Anytime I see him, for some reason, I kind of gravitate toward, even though he wasn't a part of Rat Pack, or the Brat Pack rather. I'm sorry, the Brat Pack. Anytime I see them, I kind of gravitate toward a few of their films, just because I grew up watching them so much. But he kind of faded away after, like you said, a few DVD movies. He just kind of wasn't there anymore.
Right. Do we prefer John Cusack or Joan Cusack?
I'm a John guy.
Yeah, me too. I'm a John guy.
Joan's good, though. Joan's really good in School of Rock.
And Addams Family Values.
Oh, Addams. Oh, yeah.
Shit,
yeah.
I couldn't remember the name of the movie.
Absolutely.
That was so awful.
You're right.
What else has she done since, though? Like, has she done anything big since then? Like, it feels like they kind of faded off the face of the earth.
She was on the first four or five seasons of Shameless. And she was really good on that show, too.
She was really good in that. She's not in this movie, everyone.
Which is surprising. She usually shows up in her brother's movies.
Mm-hmm.
But who is also in this movie is Rob Corddry. He was a Daily Show correspondent, and he popped up in random comedies throughout the 2000s like Old School, Blades of Glory, and The Heartbreak Kid.
What is he doing? I haven't seen him in anything yet either. It feels like
I think he's been in TV.
Has he?
He was on 4 seasons of Ballers. He was one of the main guys on Ballers. With
Glad
The
you know
Rock,
that.
the football one.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. And then he was on, that's right, he was on another show called The Unicorn, about I think it came on, like, it was a CBS. There was lasted 2 seasons. Actually, 2 of the guys from Ballers were on that show.
Another person in this movie, Craig Robinson. He gained notoriety for playing Daryl on The Office before joining the Apatow Gang in movies like Knocked Up and Pineapple Express.
I really like him.
I do too.
He's hard not to like, to be honest.
I'm a little sick of the Pizza Hut commercials.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's like the main spokesperson for Pizza Hut now.
Well, maybe you should just not watch commercials, Ben.
I wish I had that option, Emily.
You know, you could just stop watching football.
No,
Ben.
Emily. Last person that we'll call out in this movie is Clark Duke. He created and starred in the web show Clark and Michael with Michael Cera.
What?
Yeah, which, check it out. It's like a 10-episode thing. It's about them writing their own web show. It's just silliness. But after that, he appeared in the TV show Greek and movies Superbad and Sex Drive.
And he was also in The Office as like an intern or something, right?
Yeah, I don't think he was in it until after 2010, which is one of the reasons I didn't call it out. But
well, I don't know when The Office played. I thought it was older than that.
Well, it started in 2005.
Got it.
I was never a fan of The Office. I'd never
stop.
Honestly, here's the
Brandon,
thing.
it's the worst, right? I hate The Office.
Fuck. Ow.
Here's the thing. Everybody in there is super talented. I love everybody that comes out of The Office. It's just, again, it's like my first introduction to like the main dude who was doing The Office. Like, my first introduction to him was like such a serious film that, like, when I saw him in The Office, I was like, why is he playing this idiot? And I could never get over the hump on that. I could never do it. Anything else I've seen him in, I watched all this serious stuff. I can't watch any of his comedy because it hurts me to be like, this dude. I know it's hard to do comedy, but he's.
See, I was lucky. One of the first things I saw him in was Anchorman, where he's even stupider. So that helps. Brandon, from the back of the DVD cover, what is this movie about?
Hot Tub Time Machine is a biopic of Stephen Hawking, the writer, A Brief History of Time, which he wrote while sitting in his hot tub for 3 years. He never walked again.
What?
My God, Ben, I cannot believe you wrote that.
That's why he can't walk?
Fuck off, Ben.
Brandon, I don't know what you're doing, man. That's not the movie I watched.
For real though, Ben, you hadn't seen this before.
No, I hadn't. So that was my guess as to what the movie was about.
You're such an ass.
It was kind of that, I guess.
There was a hot tub.
There was a hot tub. I had the hot tub part, right? And the time machine, like.
You don't have anything about Time Machine in your plot synopsis. Except for a brief
Stephen
history
Hawking
of time.
is like the inventor of the time machine. He created the DeLorean.
Just read the damn DVD cover.
Hot Tub Time Machine follows a group of best friends who've become bored with their adult lives. Adam has been dumped by his girlfriend. Lou is a party guy who can't find the party. Nick's wife controls his every move, and video game obsessed Jacob won't leave his basement. After a crazy night of drinking in a ski resort hot tub, the men wake up, heads pounding, in the year 1986. This is their chance to kick some past and change their futures. One will find a new love life, one will learn to stand up for himself with the ladies, one will find his mojo, and one will make sure he still exists.
Oh, they just spoiled the whole fucking movie.
The entire fucking thing.
Yeah, they did. I actually read one earlier that had none of that in it. I don't know where it was from.
Not the back of the DVD cover.
Well, it's not the back of the DVD cover.
Sometimes I look up these DVD covers and I think I'm being like a practical joke is being played on me. Like the first search result is just something someone made up and was trying to pass off as the DVD cover. Because this is their chance to kick some past is just an awful line. Just an awful line. But if you like that line, like a lot of the humor in this movie is going to be for you.
Oh, now I don't know what you think of this movie.
I didn't like this movie.
Wow.
Man, this shit was hilarious. I just died on this film.
Brandon, you and I had seen this movie before. I didn't see it in theaters, but I distinctly remember maybe renting it with some of my friends in high school because, yes, I was in high school during this time. And I just remember thinking it was so fucking stupid. I don't have like any memories, positive or negative, of it. Just it being really stupid, never wanting to watch it again until, whoop, guess I'm watching it for a podcast.
I watched it with my wife. We actually rented it, and I thought it was fucking hilarious. I think, but then again, I think I was watching so much serious stuff that I needed to laugh, and it was just it just wasn't. I think the whole premise was just like it's a time machine that's a hot tub, and I'm like, all right, let's just go for it. Like it just kind of felt like that, and whatever it went, it just went, and I was for wherever it went.
Wait, is it a time machine that is a hot tub, or is a hot tub that it is a time machine?
Oh, we need to really figure this out. This is important.
I don't know.
I vote it's a hot tub that's also a time machine because the order of the title. That is literally the only basis for why I'm picking that.
I think you're right, not because of the order of the title, but because it starts off as a hot tub and then is turned into a time machine because of the addition of the energy drink.
Stupid fucking energy drinks.
But so when they said that they were going to call and have somebody clean up the hot tub and they just kind of miraculously walked in there and it was already like cleaned up, it felt like it was already a time machine.
Oh my God.
Because it wouldn't be cleaned up beforehand.
Like Chevy Chase knew that this whole thing was a time machine.
Right. Like he's like that. I don't know what you call time travelers.
Mystical time traveling guru.
Yeah.
Fuck if I know.
Yeah, he's like the Doc Brown of this movie. That's his DeLorean.
He's very Doc Brownish. So yeah, I kind of figured it was a time machine that happened to be a hot tub.
I'm sorry. We're comparing Chevy Chase in this movie to Doc Brown in like he's very like him. I completely disagree. Like, yes, there is just like we need an old white guy that knows the science behind things and is going to be somewhat mysterious. But Doc Brown is fucking awesome and Chevy Chase sucks.
So Chevy Chase to Doc Brown was not my first comparison. My first comparison was going to be he's the character that Don Knotts plays in Pleasantville. Brandon, I know Emily hasn't seen it. Brandon, have you seen Pleasantville?
I've seen parts of it's been such a long time. I've seen parts of Pleasantville.
But he's the one that guides the people through the crazy predicament that they've found themselves in. So no, it's not really Doc Brown, other than he might be the creator of said time machine, just like Doc Brown is.
Okay. I'm on board now.
Okay.
I got angry. Sorry.
So Brandon, you got to tell me why do you like this movie? Because I'm not seeing it.
I think it's just like the whole comedy aspect of it for me. Then it's the I don't know. It's like it's midlife crisis-esque.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a lot of missed opportunities that normally in movies that they kind of do it. They go back and they change something, and then all of a sudden their whole lives is better, which kind of happens in this as well too. So it's pretty cliche, but I think for me it was just like comedic aspect of it. It felt like even though some of the stuff was really vulgar, all of it kind of kind of hit. It was on time for me, so I laughed at a lot of that stuff. The story itself. I mean, it's a time travel story. It's kind of what it is. But like the comedy in between, and then like nobody willingly goes to the 80s. It feels like for for time travel. It's either further back or you're going further ahead. Like nobody voluntarily goes to the 80s. So it was a little different.
Yeah, you saying midlife crisis made me think that this movie is kind of stuck between two times, if you will, because it's got a lot of the vulgar humor of the 2000s, and it's got a lot more of the satire, intelligent humor that the 2010s tried to offer, and this kind of falls in the middle. And I thought the movie worked really well when it was doing, spoofs of 80 things like the skiing stuff, the 16 Candles references, stuff like that. But when it tried to go vulgar and with the homophobia and all of that stuff, I was just not on board with any of that.
Agreed.
I can agree with that.
I felt that when it was trying to be smart and, like you said, being satirical, it was a lot better. But overall, like, I had a good time. You know, there's a lot of comparisons of this movie with The Hangover where, they wake up and they have to figure shit out when they're hungover kind of thing. But everyone says The Hangover is way better. I have seen The Hangover maybe twice before, but I literally don't know if I would want to deal with what I remember the vulgarity of The Hangover. Just seems more extreme in a way.
I will say The Hangover at least had a clever enough concept where it's these guys trying to piece together something that nobody remembers.
Mm-hmm.
And that clever conceit kind of carried the entire movie and the humor within it. This movie is very much just more straightforward. And it tries to pull in a bunch of things that some of which I was on board with, like the guy losing his arm gag. Yeah, let's do that. But then a lot of the stuff of like, if they don't throw this touchdown, I'll suck my friend's dick.
Yeah.
Which is just stuff I didn't need that.
Yeah.
Do you want to just go right into the good and bad since we're already there?
Oh, yeah, we probably should. And I just teased my winner, which is Crispin Glover. I love him being in this, both as a callback to Back to the Future and for the role he plays in this movie. That running gag is by far my favorite part of the entire movie. Every single time they did it, every fake out landed for me. I loved the purpose that he served in this movie.
I just wanted one more. I mean, I loved them all. I honestly, one of my all-time favorite things in this movie, like so fucking funny, but I just wanted one more. Like the elevator closing, I didn't think it was actually going to happen. It wasn't very believable. The chainsaw though, of him being really amazing with the carving of the ice sculpture and he's throwing the chainsaw. I'm like, yeah, this is it.
I understand why they didn't do one more, because the comedy rule of 3 says you do 3 and then you get out.
Ugh, stupid.
I love the last one, the last fake out where it's actually like hinging on the plot where they're all trying to get saved and they're worried this guy's arm's going to get torn off as they're trying to save him. But I also would have liked one in between the elevator and that last one.
My winner's kind of dumb, but I fucking love the title. Like, the title of this movie is fucking spectacular. It is stupid, but silly, and it tells you exactly what this movie's gonna be like. It's gonna be stupid and silly. And adding to that with Craig Robinson just deadpanning to the camera, and it was his own fucking idea to say the title to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely just peaked for me. Freaking loved that. So stupid.
Hot Tub Time Machine and Snakes on a Plane. Those are like the two most on point titles for movies.
But I think that's why I kind of liked it, because it didn't take itself, it never took itself seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when the guy was like, yeah, like I was for real trying to kill myself and I want to stay. And that was probably the only part that was like, okay, damn, he's really trying to kill himself. His wife really sucks. But other than that, like nothing was serious. Like nothing was serious out the whole film. I think I liked it on that merit. The fact that it was it's the one movie where I was like, all right, I can just watch this and just not be trying to find something else or look deeper into the frame. I just had fun with it.
So you don't have anything to report on the cinematography? That's not your winner today?
Well, I can talk about the cinematographer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so real quick, before I get into my really big like stuff and stuff like that, Jack N. Green is the guy's name. He's done a lot of Clint Eastwood stuff. So he's done Unforgiven, which was up for Academy Awards. What's Up, The Bridges of Madison County. He also did Space Cowboys, which is also a Eastwood film. The stuff that's not Eastwood that he's done: Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Girl Interrupted,
Whoa,
50
stop.
First Dates.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid is phenomenal. I wish we were doing it for 2010, but we're not.
Why aren't we?
Because I have an idea for how we're going to do it later in a future year.
Okay.
But Diary of a Wimpy Kid is one of my favorite kids' movies of the 2010s.
And I've never seen it.
Oh, man.
Me either.
You will. You both will.
Eventually.
I guess back to other things he did. I say 50 First Dates, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, The Net, and then one of my favorite sci-fi films, Serenity. He was the DP on that.
Oh.
Then he's also had a lot of like this is probably the most, if you can say, like seasoned or decorated type cinematographer that
He's just fucking all over the place, man.
I feel like Serenity didn't hit as hard for Emily as it should have.
No, it did. I'm overwhelmed by all of the other things that he did, and I just cannot even handle the variety.
And then on like the back end of that, he was the camera op role before he became before he came Clint Eastwood's go-to cinematographer for a long time. He was a camera op on Starman, Beverly Hills Cop, 48 Hours, and Cagney and Lacey for a while.
I didn't think any of the cinematography in this movie was spectacular, but I thought it was really solid.
Yeah.
There was nothing that was like, oh, I don't like that choice.
Yeah, there was nothing that was obviously bizarre about the camera work. It was a very solid film when it comes to the design and the execution.
Right. And then I didn't think it really called for it. You know, you're doing a comedy, but then when you look and see what he's done, like Unforgiven is, if you've just some of the way darkness is done in Unforgiven, the way light's done in that one is really good. Bridges of Madison County is the same way, the way the scenes are shot. So, I mean, this guy he knows how to, when you can change up like that and do comedy and do drama and do action, like he's really, really, I don't even say learned or studied.
But experienced.
Super experienced.
Brandon, who won though, besides like obviously the cinematographer, didn't win. He was fine.
Honestly, for me, it was, I'm a Cusack fan, but I think a lot of the one-liners were just like hilarious to me. Like when dude said he got a shoe beat off of him, how does that happen? That was fucking hilarious. Let me see what else I have on. I had a whole bunch of these. I couldn't keep writing them down because my hand was starting to cramp. He said when he grabbed his arm, I think he said it's real. It has freckles on it and shit. This dude say, I write Stargate fan fiction. Like the shit was just funny as hell to me. That was all the lines in it were just hilarious. I think so. I think I didn't see who wrote it, but whoever helped write those one-liners, I thought pretty much won the film for me.
I did like a lot of the one-liners. The overall kind of plot and pacing of the movie, maybe not so much, but the line, it's called male bonding. Have you even seen Wild Hogs? Love that line.
We had Reagan and AIDS.
Oh,
yes. Yes, that one killed me. Loved it.
When like the one black dude said, I'm stuck in the 80s, how am I going to get a job? That shit was funny as hell, boy.
I did love Craig Robinson's riff of just what color is Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And then his scream. His idea. I know, his scream followed up with that. So wonderful.
And then the Winter Soldier's in this too. I didn't know that. So.
Oh, speaking of that, he was like my good. I fucking loved him in this. I really enjoyed his weird character. He's like obsessed with the communism, Russian spies. He's just a fucking bully. I had a great time with him because prior to this, or even around this time, all I had seen him in is Gossip Girl. And now I've seen him a little bit like in Winter Soldier, but I fucking love Sebastian Stan.
Emily, are you aware that 80s ski movies is like its own genre?
No.
Okay, there are a bunch of movies that take place on like ski resorts and in ski lodges
Are you
in the
fucking
80s that are like
kidding
comedies. Yeah, so like him playing that character, he's playing a type that existed in these 80s movies.
That's even funnier.
I'm trying to think of some 80s movies that are.
Why is that a genre?
Well, because one of them is Better Off Dead, which is the John Cusack movie.
Okay.
You've also got like Ski School and Hot Dog and Ski Patrol. Like there were a bunch of them.
Oh my God, I just Googled it. Why are there so many? What a weird genre. Like, if you could come up with a comedy genre, what would it be?
Whatever it is, it's not going to be better than Ski.
Skiing comedies in the 80s?
You know what? I would do and this is 100% for my dad. I would do like This Old House, but I would do like a spoof for This Old House of contractors who were just absolutely fucking garbage. I think that shit would be fucking hilarious.
I like that a lot.
I like that.
Did anyone else have any other good that they wanted to call out?
Not really.
I did like the appearances of people like William Zabka, who is the bad guy from Karate Kid. Him showing up was fun. Chevy Chase showing up, even though I didn't think he was funny in this movie. I appreciated seeing the 80s faces in this movie.
Oh, that's
the
nice.
80s hair and the 80s color. I forgot how bad the 80s color was. God, we wore some terrible
Good call
shit.
with that. The production design
Yes.
of getting everything to look like it's the 80s. I completely agree, Brandon.
Yeah, especially just the coloring and costumes. I know I didn't grow up in the 80s, but it definitely gave the 80s vibe feel right away, where you could tell like these guys, even though they're hungover, they should have picked up on it pretty fast.
Yeah.
And the music wasn't bad either.
No, the music was fun.
It was okay. When you have all of the 80s to pull from, though, I wanted to hear
better.
Better. So a couple more bangers.
Probably more expensive, but yeah.
Definitely. But where else is the money going for this movie?
The actors? I don't know.
Yeah, is John Cusack expensive?
I don't know.
Clearly not.
Is John Cusack?
Let's go into the bad.
Some of the gay jokes were dated for me.
I mean, all of the gay jokes were dated.
I mean, I'm trying to think back even to then, like, and I'm pretty sure I laughed just because you kind of in that whole groove of laughing already. But I'm probably thinking like, damn, like, was that necessary to call it all the gay stuff?
Yeah, using the F word a lot was just the tail ends of the 2000s into the 2010s. And it just doesn't feel good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
As you said, Ben, sucking his friend's dick, like, and then later freaking him out after he passes out. It just not okay. Really felt abusive, honestly. Just not great. But it's something that we kind of expected because it is a comedy from 2010. But also the sexism was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And definitely not great. The only thing that, usually when you think sexism, like especially blatant sexism, you think like tits all over the place, naked women all over the place. I weirdly felt like the one scene in the hot tub where what's-her-face was having sex with Craig Robinson's character, I thought that was just really funny. Like she purposely did that in a way that was funny. But all the little stuff, talking about the women from their, I don't think they were on a high school trip, but like, early 20s trip.
I thought they were high schoolers.
I thought they were high schoolers too. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was probably like a winter break or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Rich high schoolers, I guess. But I really, really got bothered with the whole hyphenated name thing. Like they threw that in there in a way that just rubbed me the wrong way. And then at the end, when he's like, "Oh, I'm Weber." Yeah, I'm Weber. I'm not hyphenated. I was like, what the fuck? Why is this a big deal? Why does this have to be a thing? Why are you, what's the word about like getting whipped by your wife or something?
Are you a cuck or pussy whooped or whatever you want to call it?
Whatever, any of those things. It's like just fucking shitty and makes every woman in my life, at least, just pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
And also, let's not joke about rape. Let's not go, I'm gonna rape you.
Yeah.
Like, just fuck off. No, don't do that.
Yeah, I can't.
Guys,
Can't defend any of that.
I got nothing there.
No one can defend it. It's just poop. But I would love for one of you to try to defend April's entire existence in the movie.
April's the one that likes John Cusack's character?
Yeah, she's the reporter or something that's there for Poison.
Okay, thank you, because this is one of my bad, because I don't... Why does she like John Cusack? John Cusack, there's nothing, like, good about his character in this. Like, he's not charming or anything when he's talking to her, and she's just, like, infatuated with him.
And keeps on trying to meet up with him constantly.
And also, it weirds me out, and I know why they did it from a filmmaking standpoint. You need a woman to look old enough to be with John Cusack and not feel gross, but also young enough to be with a high schooler and not feel gross. But how old she looked in the movie looked really off to me.
Yes. And it's partially for me because of John Cusack's sister in the movie. I think her name was Kelly or something. She was the same actress, but the way that they showed her as young Kelly versus aged Kelly, even though they didn't really do much other than change her clothes, it worked. It weirdly worked. But for April, it was just like, this is weird. This is not good. I don't like this.
So, and this is just me. Maybe it's like, so what I looked at it is that he's if he's 18, let's say if it's like senior year, or maybe it's not even senior, maybe they're like 1 year into college, just to say like that or something like that. So, and he's still with a girl who's kind of like youngest in young acting, and he thinks that that's the one that got away and he's kind of, I'm not saying that he's like dating down, but he's like stuck in this spot to where, okay, here's how a girl should act and here's how a girl should be. Then he meets somebody that's a little bit more free spirited, open, want to be able to do different stuff. So that's like his, like, he never reached that maturity level of what a woman was supposed to be next.
So he was just kind of stuck in the past on this whole immaturity.
Oh, I totally get why he's into her.
But it doesn't make sense why she's into him. Yes, no. I agree with you, Ben.
And maybe she saw that, like, he was ready for something, that he was ready for more, that he could do more. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes somebody has to pull you up. Sometimes he was willing to be pulled up. And I think after that particular incident where he's like, well, I have to be with my friends, but how do we get up with each other? I'm thinking, like, just ask for a phone number, but this is the 80s, so I don't know any different. I was 7, 8 in the 80s. So like I'm thinking like just ask for a phone number. What are you doing, man? But like yeah, maybe that was his, like, okay, pull up. I'm supposed to be with a different type of person. I'm not gonna be stuck in this one moment in the 80s. Everybody was stuck there. The whole group was stuck. And then it just took, everybody had something that got them to that next point, which was kind of obvious in the film, but I think she was it for him.
If you shut your brain off, yeah, I can accept it. But it was one of the things that my brain turned on for, was like, what? No, that's not okay. That's not okay. And then on top of it, the fact that he ends up with her in the end, everything that happens at the ending just goes whoosh, over Emily's head.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know what the fuck's happening. I understand that they're trying to make it like happy with Lugal and Weber Studios. And John Cusack gets to fuck the girl he wanted to fuck when he was in the 80s, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they're friends. Very happy. But, oh my God. What the fuck?
Let me tell you what I couldn't turn my brain off for, and it's because I love time travel movies and figuring out the mechanics of how time travel works. This movie made me so fucking mad. 1 minute it seems like they can change the future, and then the next Lou has to have sex with Jacob's mom or Jacob isn't born. That whole part makes no sense to me. Are they implying that Lou was always Jacob's dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So Lou, why didn't Lou remember having sex with John Cusack's sister then?
Maybe he didn't ever want to tell her. That's all I can think. Tell him. That's all I can think of.
Maybe I mean, he was really fucking drunk, and it was the 80s, so people definitely didn't talk about consent.
Right. I don't think anybody used condoms in the 80s either, to be honest. I don't think condoms came around to the 90s.
I didn't get the impression that Lou had sex with her in the original timeline. So that wasn't clear enough to me. So then it had caused me to ask all these questions like, if that's not Jacob's dad, why does Jacob still look like the Jacob we've known the entire movie?
Oh,
because of genetics and shit. Like he wouldn't look like that if Lou all of a sudden was his father now.
Yeah, I didn't really think too hard about it, but yeah, I could definitely see some huge glaring problems with
And
that.
how did the guy originally lose his arm?
Great question, Ben.
Because it wasn't waving to these guys, was it? Because they didn't see him lose his arm.
Oh, how do you think he actually lost his arm? Was it the elevator?
I think it would have been funny if, well, I know you have to show him losing his arm, but if you didn't know how he lost it, you never know. And then one day he just shows up, he doesn't have an arm anymore. Like, I don't know. I just thought that'd be funny too.
I think it'd be funny if he just woke up one day without an arm. Like he went to bed with an arm and woke up without one. And not even he knows what happened.
Okay. Well, either way, Ben, you're thinking way too hard about this movie because it starts with the words hot tub and ends with the words time machine. So hot tub is way more important than time machine.
Oh, I understood all of the science of the hot tub, believe me. I know how hot tubs work. How about any weird?
I know that you enjoyed your 80s callback, but fucking Chevy Chase just throws me out of the movie. I did not understand his mystical being of being there. I didn't really, and maybe it's because I haven't seen a lot of 80s movies. I just don't appreciate things. I see him from Community and being just a jackass, or hearing stories about him being a jackass, so seeing him in this movie just kind of threw me out of everything.
I forgot he was in it. I completely forgot he was in the movie.
I don't think he needs to be in the movie for the movie to still work.
Right.
To the extent that it works. Because obviously I'm not a huge fan of this movie. But how did his band know the Black Eyed Peas song?
They did it in rehearsal, dude. He said it just like we rehearsed. He said just like we rehearsed.
Oh, did he?
Yes. Come on, Ben. I will defend that scene.
I missed that. Well, here's something I don't want to hear you try to defend.
Okay.
Pulling out your catheter would hurt like a motherfucker.
Oh my God.
And I don't want to hear anything.
Oh.
I think I wrote that down. I swear I wrote that down. That is the most, that's literally the second thing I wrote down. He pulled out his catheter.
Like dude, holy fucking shit. No.
That dude should, if that's the case, then like somebody beating his ass in the 80s, he should have been able to walk through every fucking punch that dude did. Like, there's no way. That shit hurts.
That's the kind of vulgarness that isn't really funny in this movie. It's like a callback to early 2000s where pain is funny. But I guess Jackass movies came out later and we have a new Jackass movie. I don't know. I don't think pain is funny.
The problem is he didn't even act like it hurt. That's what I'm saying. Had they actually shown like how traumatic that would have been to his situation,
it would have been more funny.
It would have at least been a little more true to life. I don't think it should be in the movie at all. But he no-sold it. It was like The Rock getting punched. He no-sold it.
Oh man, never heard that before.
I don't know what it is about Clark Duke, but I don't think he will ever not weird me out.
Oh.
And I know that that's kind of mean. I know he's in like a bunch of these like 2000s comedies and he's kind of like this lovable geek weirdo guy, or sometimes like super pervy weirdo guy. But I don't know. There's something about him that I just don't really like. And it's not his acting. It's not who he is. It's not even what he looks like. I just am like, you're kind of weird.
I don't like his face. Go ahead and look him up now and take a look at his mustache.
I did see his mustache. It is an impressive mustache.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Something about him just is weird to me. Like the fact that he and Michael Cera did a web show, that to me is kind of cute. And I like Michael Cera, but I don't know. There's something about Clark Duke I'm just not a big fan of. And that's kind of mean. So I'm sorry.
How necessary is he to the movie also?
Not really.
I think it's just to try to add a couple stakes
to
them getting back and not messing with the timeline. But then they end up fucking with the timeline.
Them to get home. Yeah, you're right.
Is anybody really... It never feels like there's a lot of stakes at all in this movie, though.
There aren't.
Which is, again, I'm not saying I liked it was the best comedy of the year, but it's like I said, it's funny for some of the writing in it. I think that's what made it funny. But there's never like, oh no, if they don't get back, everybody dies.
Right.
It never has that whole Back to the Future type,
I'm disappearing.
Yeah.
Yep. And I feel like that's what Clark Duke's intent is in this movie, is to be that like disappearing photograph from Back to the Future. But I don't know. It didn't work for me. And I was confused by it because I didn't know who his dad was, because I didn't think that was clear. So,
Well, he even said he didn't know who his dad was. So I was like, okay, well.
But he knew who Lou was?
Well, because that's his uncle's best friend.
So Lou's just been sitting on the fact that he's the dad? Or the mom is sitting on the fact that Lou's the dad? Or does mom not know? Or does...
I think
don't
they
think
implied that
knew.
mom knew, but didn't want to say anything. I don't know. Who the fuck cares? Let's wrap this motherfucker up.
Good call. Brandon, final thoughts on Hot Tub Time Machine.
Watch it for the actual banter. Some of the banter and some of the one-liners are actually pretty funny. Story-wise, it's not going to blow you away. You've kind of seen, hopefully by this point, you've seen quite a few time machine or time travel stories. I still thought it was pretty decent for a 2010 comedy that didn't take itself seriously. So if you just want to just watch something and not be totally immersed in the whole filmmaking process, then this is a decent film to watch.
Emily.
I think this movie would be really fun to watch high with your friends. Other than that, I don't need to watch it again. But I had a good time.
Yeah. If you're looking for a movie about a hot tub time machine, let me point you in the direction of this one.
And the sequel.
No, don't watch the sequel.
The sequel is the worst.
Definitely the best hot tub movie I've seen. But I wouldn't recommend it. And 2010 is kind of shaped up to be a pretty weak year for comedy, in my opinion. So I guess I can see how some would consider this to be the best one, because honestly, there haven't been a lot of other really great ones that have jumped out. So,
What's your favorite idea? Mine is being creative.
How do you get that idea?
I just tried to think creatively.
Number 1. We had such a wonderful, charismatic moment with William Zabka in this movie. I feel like more movies need William Zabka cameos, right? What movie are you going to put William Zabka in?
I wish William Zabka would have showed up in Everything Everywhere All at Once. As one of the security guards that fights the dad at the elevator scene, or one of the butt plug fighters. Like, I want to see him in more action-y stuff and utilizing that Karate Kid ability that he has. Plus, I think it would have been fun if all of the people fighting the dad from Everything Everywhere All at Once were also 80s kids actors. I think that would have been a nice, fun little throw.
That's hard to beat. That's hard because there's a
I know,
definitely
fucking
80s
Ben
history.
comes up with this shit right away.
Is it bad that I kind of wish he would have subbed in for Iron Fist in the television show? Maybe I would have made it more believable.
Was that the Marvel one? The one Marvel show that was like completely unwatchable?
God, it was so bad. They tried to redeem themselves in the second season because I think they had a different showrunner, but it was so made for TV-esque. And Netflix is not something you don't make TV shows on Netflix. You make something that's a bit edgier. They dropped the ball on Iron Fist. So I would have much rather had somebody that I actually believe looks like they kicked somebody's ass in Iron Fist, not just a whiny kid from wherever he was from.
Speaking of kind of what Ben was saying about like 80s kids, you know how there are a lot of like these reboots coming out? I want William Zabka to be like in every reboot. Just every single reboot there possibly is. Top Gun Maverick, like everything.
Like a Welsh Waldo, like he could just sit in like the back. There he is. He goes to the movies to see him.
Honestly, the perfect use of him was in How I Met Your Mother.
Oh yeah.
How Barney's like favorite 80s star is the villain from Karate Kid. And William Zabka just keeps showing up and is like in his wedding party. Like, just your great use.
Right. Okay, number 2. We had a hot tub take people back in time. But what if there were other household appliances that could take you back in time? What weird household appliance is going to take you back in time?
A bidet.
Have you used a bidet? It kind of does feel like you're going back in time.
I I've never used it, but everybody talks about how like life changing it
It's
is.
spiritual.
I think that'd probably be it.
Absolutely.
That
They are
be
great.
It.
Fucking
I've never
A,
used
Brandon.
one.
That was
I've never
awesome.
used one, but I would go for that.
I don't know if you can beat that, Ben.
I don't
but
know
I want
if
you
I
to
can.
try.
Yeah. I want to go with what hand mixer?
Yeah, I like hand mixers.
I want a hand mixer. Yeah. You toss in the things from the time period you want to go back to, and you mix it all up, and then it takes you back there.
Very nice. All right, number 3. You both are older than me, so you have to think back. 20 years ago was 2002.
Okay.
What would you do? You have all the knowledge. What do you do in 2002?
Stop playing basketball, number 1. Save the rest of my body. Actually start investing in the stock market.
Investing is the right answer.
Yeah.
Okay, then what silly thing would you do for sure?
I was gonna say you're gonna get some real adult answers over here. A dream I've always wanted to have was like to buy I know I can't do it now because I'm way too old. But then I wanted to really buy like Monte Carlo with like the T-tops, an older one, and just drive from St. Louis straight to Los Angeles and go from Los Angeles all the way to New York and just drive across the country. That was the only thing that I could possibly think of. Just go by myself. It's not silly at all. It's just like
honestly,
a move of life.
mine's not going to be silly either because I would go back and allow myself to dream.
Oh,
and
God.
actually pursue the things that I was passionate about rather than just doing what I thought everyone else wanted me to do.
You know what I would do?
Something silly, please.
Yes. Yes. So I would be 10 years old, right?
Okay.
I would write out a bunch of ideas for like the next few best pictures from like 2010 on. And I would go and market it somehow and like come up with all these like famous movie ideas.
Love it. Pause. Emily, name one best picture that happened from 2010 to 2020.
I don't know.
So how are you doing this? How are you going back with all this knowledge? You have none in your pocket.
Yeah, I know, right?
You can't name one.
The King's Speech?
Yeah, because that's the year we're doing. Good job. Can you do a different one?
Parasite.
Oh, good job. Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to make the Korean family drama Parasite? You with all of your knowledge of Korea.
Well, at this point, in 2002, I'm sure I could find some people to help me out. I don't know. Duluth, Minnesota.
Lots of Koreans.
I was going to say it's a large Korean population there.
Now let's all agree to never be creative again.
My game today is called Where We're Going, We Don't Need Hot Tubs. All movies have signature objects that you associate to them, and if this movie taught us anything, all things can be time machines. So I'm going to give you a movie, and you need to guess what object I associate with that movie and would therefore use to time travel.
Ooh, it's like port keys, but time travel.
Exactly. They're going to start easy and get harder. So again, you're trying to think of what object I associate with that movie. Here we go. Jaws.
Definitely the shark.
I say the boat.
Brandon is correct. It is the boat.
Fuck.
Castaway.
Is that the one with Wilson?
Yep.
That's all I know about that movie.
I would say Wilson.
Wilson, the volleyball, correct.
Oh shit, that was all I knew about it.
E.T.
Oh,
the bike?
The bike, yes. You guys are on fire. Fargo.
Oh, I've seen that. I don't remember it because it was boring.
The car with the true coat on it.
Okay, the car.
Is there a deer in that movie?
Oh, the wood chipper. The wood chipper.
Yes, Brandon got it. The wood chipper is correct.
I don't remember wood chipper.
That's like the least boring part of that movie, Emily.
Okay.
It was the wood chipper part.
I don't remember anything.
The Godfather.
The cannoli.
Ooh.
Or, hold on.
Marlon Brando's cotton balls in his mouth?
I would go for that.
I'll ride those all the way to the future.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Oh, the toll booth.
Oh, no. It's the horse's head.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have. I'm dumb.
Forrest Gump.
The box of chocolates?
That's correct, yeah. How about The Thing?
The Thing.
No.
It's been such a long time since I've seen that movie.
Well, there's a spaceship. I feel like that's the obvious answer.
Spaceship.
The Flamethrowers.
Yes, ma'am. You
Oh,
got
fuck
it.
yes.
Good call. Silence of the Lambs.
The lotion. It rubs it.
Yes, the basket full of lotion. Absolutely. Hop in that basket, go back in time, full of lotion. Skin is smooth. Last one, The Room.
I've only seen
Oh,
parts
hi,
of it.
Mark.
I ride Mark all the way to the future.
No, I feel like it would be the football.
Oh, that's a great guess. I had a tough time narrowing this one down to one object.
How about the photographs with all the spoons and forks in them?
So football and spoons were the two runners up.
Damn it! Okay, I gotta think of the other one. Tommy Wiseau's butt?
No.
What is it, Ben?
Well, let's just say I need to hump it at 88 miles per hour to get it to go back in time. What is the thing that Tommy Wiseau's humping in the movie?
His wife?
Nope.
What is he humping?
It's the red dress.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Brandon, you haven't seen The Room recently, or all of it?
I've only seen parts of it. It didn't appeal to me. I didn't really want to watch it.
Well,
that's when
it's not
you
supposed
have
to
to
appeal to
watch
anyone.
it with like a group of people and go to the movie theater and throw spoons at the movie theater. Like that's when
what
you're
they
supposed to do. Yeah.
People throw spoons. Oh, okay. It's a cult thing. Got it.
You can't watch it by yourself.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight to talk Hot Tub Time Machine. Please like, rate, subscribe, share with a friend or two, and you can follow us on social media at IDYP_podcast on Twitter and Instagram, or you can email us at idrinkyourpodcast@gmail.com.
Brandon, before we go, in your best 80s ski resort villain impression, what the fuck, Ben? End the episode by saying, I drink your podcast, I drink it up.
Ski resort villain?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
That's a thing.
I guess it's like super aggressive, right? Like, I drink your podcast.
Yeah.
I drink it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that was not nearly as white as it should have been.
I tried, man. I really tried. I'm sorry.
I love you guys.
Love you too. We'll see
Thanks
everyone later.
to everyone.
Bye.
Bye.